Hello and welcome back. This is going to be our Grafana video. So if you're unfamiliar with Grafana, it's a really nice data visualization tool. It allows you to take time series data and create, excuse me, like line charts, bar charts, stuff like that. But the nice thing is, if you marry it with GridDB, you can take all of your existing GridDB data and you can create visualizations basically on the fly. So in this one, we're going to install Grafana, grab the plugin that is available for GridDB, and then we will send data from our GridDB container over to Grafana. We can see a simple line chart, and then that'll be it. So I won't do any fancy dashboards on Grafana because it's not really the scope of the video, but if somebody's interested in that, you can let us know. We can try to create that for you. We also have a blog up on the website that you can create heat maps with Grafana. So maybe I'll just show the blog. But for now, let's just install Grafana first and worry about that later. So one caveat though is I did have to go into this archive section of Grafana. Right now they're on section 9, or sorry, version 9. But as far as I can tell, it kind of broke compatibility with the current GridDB plugin. So I'm actually going to go back down to 8.5. This is the latest before they get to 9. So 9 had big breaking changes with a lot of Grafana. It's basically a major update. So for now, we'll stick with 8.5. As far as I can tell, everything still works. So go to the download page for Grafana, head over to 8.5. So you can do Enterprise or OSS. I know your first thought is probably Enterprise is not what I want because that means money generally. But here you can see it says is the default recommended edition. It includes all the features of OSS edition. It can be used for free. Okay, so we'll just stick with this as well. And another thing I would like to say is at the date of recording this is actually a very new release. So it seems like they're still supporting version Grafana 8 for now because, as I said, 9 is a major upgrade and it has some breaking features. So I guess there's still a huge amount of people on 8. All right. So that's enough for now. So I'm going to install on Ubuntu. So I already installed this on my machine. So I'm just going to grab this package into my temp directory. Whoops. And then I will just do the sudo dpackage install. And I believe that's it. So once this is installed, that's all. I don't have to do anything else. So I can close this. Yeah, and here's actually that blog I was talking about earlier. So you can see here we made heat maps with Grafana and GridDB. So it's a sneak peek of what is possible. It's actually very cool. But I won't get into that. So while this installs, which I guess it did, we can grab the GridDB data source. So sorry, I meant to show getting here. So let's do GridDB Grafana into our Google query. And there's a bunch of stuff we have here like this heat maps blog. But if you go down here, you'll see GridDB data source for Grafana. So this is basically the plugin. It's called data source because we marry this with the GridDB web API. And with those two together, you basically create a data source for GridDB to send data through HTTP to your Grafana. So basically what we'll do is we'll just copy this link and we'll also do a wget here. We'll do a wget of that, and then we'll just unzip this. And I'm going to go into this GridDB data source. And then what we need to do is we need to copy over all of these files into a into the Grafana installation plate. So I have it saved here in case I forgot. So I need to copy all of this into varlib Grafana plugins. So let's go to varlib Grafana, and then there's a plugins directory. If there isn't one, you need to make it. Okay. I believe this is from earlier, so let me just remove this because in your default installation this won't be there, so let me just remove this. Okay, so what you would do is you would sudo make dir plugins, And then you would go into plugins and you would do the same thing. You would create the directory for GridDB data source. And then you would go back into your where you downloaded the data source, and you would do copy everything into dist of GridDB data source. So if you go back and you go to GridDB data source, you see there's a dist. Inside dist is everything we need. Okay. All right. Okay, going back. Now we can head over to this directory, etc Grafana, and you'll see there's a Grafana ini file. Permission denied. So you need to use sudo. I don't know if I screwed something up here. Okay, you need to use sudo. All right, and what we're looking for is we need to find this option in here. It's called allow loading unsigned plugins. So you can just do a search. And so, sorry, this is all saved from earlier. I thought I purged everything, but I guess I didn't manually delete all the files. So normally it would have been like this. It would have been commented out in the plugin section. So you could also just do a search for plugins. And what you would do is you would remove the comment, and you would actually explicitly write in GridDB data source. Because this is an unsigned plugin, you have to explicitly tell Grafana, hey, this is okay, I'm allowing this plugin to exist in my installation. Okay, so save that. And now that that's going, now we can actually start our Grafana service. So you can run this command to enable the service first. And then you can actually start the service. And then, now that that's going, you are nearly there. So, do you remember earlier I said the Grafana plugin requires the web API? So let's go into a second terminal. I have one here, and I'm inside the web API directory, and basically just start the web API like before. I've showed that in a previous video. So just run that to get that started. And when we're sure it's running, which should be in a couple of seconds here, you can see here it's running on port 8080. We can just leave this now. So that's good to go. And here we already have our Grafana running. So you can, of course, always make sure status. And you can see here active and running, no errors. Okay, good. So when Grafana is running on your machine, it actually runs on your localhost port 3000 by default. You can, of course, always change this if you have something else running on that port. But of course, I'm good. There's no errors. Normally it would say port taken or something. So normally you would go into localhost, but since I'm using a virtual machine for that because I'm on Windows, I can actually just put in the actual address, the IP address of that machine, port 3000. This is probably hard to see, but basically, I'll just show it here because it might be hard to see up there. But I just typed in my IP address of this machine, port 3000 in the web address, and yeah, it connected me. So first time it connects you, it'll ask for your username and password. I know you didn't set it up yet, so the default is admin, and the password is also admin. So you click login, and it would log you in, and then it would ask you to change your username and password. I already changed my password, so that's already changed. So one tip I will give you is that you might just, since this is kind of like a demo, you might just have the inclination to just skip changing the password and just move on ahead. I did try that, but it does not allow you to see unsigned data sources in your Grafana, probably a security thing. So you do have to change your admin password. So just change it to anything other than admin if you just don't really care that much. That's basically what I did. All right, so next step is we need to add GridDB as a data source. So you go here to this configuration, the cog, go to data sources. So I kind of wish this wasn't all here already, so I'll delete this. Sorry, I don't know why it didn't delete my stuff. But anyway, you always got to prep before you start recording, so all that stuff's already set. But let me start over here. So basically, you go to add data source, and you can just do a search for GridDB. And you can see here, it's already here because we copied everything over into the plugins directory. Click on this, and the name will be GridDB, and the localhost. So we'll do HTTP localhost 8080. So even though it's not my localhost, it's localhost to this machine because we're running the web API on the same machine. So localhost there. Cluster name is the one we've been using, my cluster. Username is admin. Password is also admin. You do save and test, and then it says data source is working. And if I was over here, and if this wasn't running, it would fail. But you can see here, test connection passed. Okay, and now it's a matter of creating a dashboard. So let's say add new panel, and data source, it's already selected the GridDB. So let's do that, GridDB. Container, let's try, so you can even see all our containers already here for us. It's really nice. Well, let's do device 2. And the time column, we already know there's only one there, TS. Limit 10,000, sure. Let's try no limit. Let's stress this bad boy. And so you're probably wondering why there's no data coming in. Grafana defaults to the last 6 hours, but if you remember, this data set is from, I think, 2020. So we need to manually change that. So click here, let's go to 2020. I believe it starts around July 12th or something. So let's try July 12th. Apply time range. And there you go. So you can see we have our CO, our humidity, our LPG, our smoke, and our temp. And you can see that it does not show motion or smoke, or not motion or light, because those are the Boolean so not really relevant here. So you can see, yeah, it was piece of cake. So now we have cool data reflecting our data with basically no work. And then, yeah, of course you can also mess with some settings here. You can change it to like a bar graph or something. I did try points, but it's too many points. Maybe we can set it to 100 limit or something, and then you can try points. Yeah, you can see here, maybe 1,000 is easier to visualize. Yeah, bars, lines, pretty cool. So like I said, it's not really a Grafana course, and I'm not really an expert on this anyway. So this is the extent of what I'll show, but yeah, this is how you get up and running and connect your GridDB and Grafana. I may or may not add a heat map section. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.